With advanced new technologies and various technical innovations, we have with us Mr. Hendrik Keller from ZF. Let's get into the details. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you detail us about the products being displayed at BC India 2013?
Yes, I'm very pleased to inform you about our products. We have here in front of me, we have already locally made products for backhoe components, a power shift, a fully power shift transmission, and the rear axle are produced in India in our factory in Coimbatore, and we sell them to several customers already in India, and they're also used already for export purposes. So it's our standard technology produced already in India for a huge Indian market of backhoe components.
So, how do you see India as a market when compared with various other global markets? Because you being an international player, I believe there will be many markets.
Yes, of course, India is a huge country. Your country does have 1.2 billion people, so there is room for growth. As I mentioned before, the backhoe market is the construction machinery market the biggest market, but we also look at the wheel loader market. We also produce already an axle, front and rear axle for wheel loader application, and we do have a special automatic transmission also for the wheel loaders in place already. Of course, there is a big crawler excavator market, soil compactor and mixer market. Those areas we're all working with.
So, how favorable is the market for OEM players?
For OEM players, of course, it is a sensitive market from a price perspective. So I think it is very important to have local content. Imports are always, because of freight costs and because of duty payment, expensive, and therefore it's our intention to have local production here in the country in order to be in business for a longer period of time. We can serve niche markets where smaller volumes are required. We can serve from our factories abroad, but the high volume market we like to serve from our factory here in India.
So, how much percentage of or how much contribution of localization do you concentrate while introducing products in India?
I think if you produce in India, you need a high localization degree. It doesn't make sense to import 60 or 70% of the parts. You have to pay duty on those parts, freight costs, so that's not the right solution. It's our intention to have most of the parts localized, so 80-85% is our target. It's not always possible in all the cases because all the parts are not available. For example, torque converters or specific clutch packages or bearings are difficult, but generally spoken the intention is the highest localization degree as possible.
So any particular technological aspects which you concentrate while introducing?
You mean from our product perspective? As I said, the backhoe is a high priority product. We are looking at the wheel loader. The axles are already available, and we're looking also at concrete mixer drives, for example. It's also an important market, high volume market, and we're also focusing on this particular part.
So, being an international player, how has this contributed in expanding your presence in India when there are many domestic as well as other international players already existing in the market?
You know, we have competitors, of course. Everybody got competitors, but I think with our new factory in place and our product portfolio, which we are doing in India, plus the additional wide range of products we can serve for all types of machines, I think we are very strongly placed because we are not in a certain market. We cover the complete construction machinery off-highway market. And therefore, I think we can be a supplier ex-Germany or ex-abroad for niche market, and for the high volume market we can support locally.
So, which are your major demand regions in India?
Major demand regions are Maharashtra, for example. There's a big market, but also the mining areas are very important. We supply wheel loader components a lot in mining application. So it's actually all over the place, and the mixer units are driven all over India.
So has the slowdown in the mining issue has it affected anywhere in your business?
Yes, it does. We have noticed this very clearly as we supplied for the wheel loader market. I think particularly the wheel loader market is hurt by these problems you have at the moment, and we sincerely hope that it is solved soon, because I think commodities are required. mining is important for India, and I think it's important that this problem gets solved and that we can also have full stream supplies again for the wheel loaders.
So has the global slowdown in the market affected anywhere in your business as well?
Generally spoken, the market in Europe, for example, we have this euro crisis, so we cannot expect big growth from Europe. Germany as such is still very strong, but very much because of exports all over the world. America was a sluggish market for a long period of time, but since a few years, and also this year and the coming years, we definitely see an increase and positive effects in the American market. And Asia as such, we supply a lot to Korea, is also very much export oriented, and we do have good markets also in Asia. And if you look at the Brazil market, Brazil, we were expecting already last year higher volumes, but we see real increase this year. And there are a lot of events coming up in Brazil, so there must be a growing market there too for construction machinery.
So also there has been an opinion that the BRIC countries are going to expand in a wider potential than the already developed markets. So any particular strategies outlined to tap in this opportunity?
Of course, we like to use this Indian facility also as a hub, for example, for supplies to other emerging markets. We are closer to those emerging markets, so we have from a freight perspective also an advantage. And in addition to this, India is a good base to produce, is a good supplier base. It's not our intention to have factories all over the world, but offshoring and onshoring, of course, is a major point for us anyway.
So how do you view India against the other Asian markets?
I see India as a dynamic market, as an extremely interesting market, and with a lot of room to grow. Particularly in different fields. I think the wheel loader market is still a market where a lot of growth is possible. You're already a world market leader for backhoe. I think with 40,000 or 35,000 units produced in your country, you're already the highest volume, I think, in the world. And crawler excavators, of course, is also a huge demand. I think there's a lot of road work to do. There's a lot of high population growth. So it will be, I think, quite a rosy market for us in the future.
So how has been the response from BC India 2013, and how do you look upon this as an event in expanding your business?
You know, Bauma as a market, Bauma as an exhibition is top of the line. There's no doubt about it. We have the biggest exhibition in the world in Munich coming up in April. Of course, there is also a local exhibition which I really enjoyed. It's the XCon, which is parallel to the Bauma. So I think this is the second Bauma. XCon is there for a long time. So we will see what happens. I think the XCon is also very well accepted. Bauma, of course, is a world reputation. So probably there will be two exhibitions. Players, but probably not always in the same year. That's probably not the best thing to do.
So any other expansion plans to set up any manufacturing facility, other manufacturing facilities in India?
As we have this big facility now of ZF wind power and construction machinery now in Coimbatore, I think we do have enough room. I'm talking now for off-highway division, not automotive. And I think we can cover a lot of ground in this factory. It's our own property, so it's room to grow. It's a huge 220,000 square meter area, and I think 90,000 square meter factory place. So there's enough space for us to grow further.
So you heard directly from the expert. Reporting for EPC World Media, Veena Kurup.
So we do have here our power shift transmission, fully power shift transmission for backhoe components with a ZF torque converter with a four-speed arrangement which is used in backhoe components. In addition to this, we do have our axle, our rear axle, our driven axle, which is also used in backhoe components with an integrated brake, parking brake, integrated in the axle and integrated wet multi-disc brakes. These two components are produced already in India in our Coimbatore factory and supplied to different customers in India and also for export. WG98 transmission, a 4-speed transmission used for wheel loader application. We use this for the 11-ton class, 11.5-ton class wheel loader. Automatic transmission with an hydraulic control system. ZF torque converter, 4-speed transmission, fully automatically with a drop of 500 mil to be used for 4-wheel drive application. We use this transmission together with our driven axle, the MTL 3055. This is also an axle with wet multi-disc brakes integrated with a parking brake, used also for wheel loaders in the area of 11.5 till 12 ton maximally capacity. So this product already, the axle itself is already produced in India and the gearbox as such is imported. This transmission is our ergo power transmission. This is a core product for ZF. It is called the WG210. It is a 4-speed transmission, automatic transmission for wheel loader application and supplied in the world market to all major players in the world for wheel loader production. And this particular transmission is equipped with a torque converter with an efficiency package, we call it, with a lock-up clutch arrangement in order to improve the efficiency of the wheel loader. And because of bypassing, locking up the torque converter with a mechanical clutch, we can improve the efficiency up to 15-20% of the machine, depending on the application. So it's a fully automatic transmission with a drop box, with a valve block integrated and a parking brake mounted to the rear of the transmission. So this is not produced in India, but we sell it for a range of wheel loaders from 10 till this range from 10 till up to around about 35 tons. This is a small item, but this is a part. This is not a gearbox as such. This is a torque converter. A torque converter which is used, for example, for backhoe loaders. We produce this torque converter in our ZF Sachs factory and is used in the backhoe components, wheel loader components, and also all the automatic transmissions we supply in ZF. This torque converter is sold also to third parties for their gearbox production. This is our mixer drive, our latest development. It's called the CML mixer. In this mixer gearbox, we can drive concrete mixers up to 12 cubic meters, and in certain applications even up to 16 cubic meters. The special thing about it is that we got the hydraulic motor, low-speed motor integrated in the transmission. It's a low-speed motor because we like to have low noise and a high efficiency. In addition to that, we have an elastomer suspension. This is from ZF Boge. That means we mount the transmission via this elastomer to the pedestal, and it gives a very good suspension and very less sensitive on shock loads and on failures in the alignment of the drum. So this transmission is produced in Germany and is a special version in comparison also to our P-series of transmissions. So we have two ranges, the CML with the integrated motor and the P-series transmissions. For concrete mixers up to 12, maximally 16 cubic meter agitating capacity. For construction machineries we require also four-wheel drive, and for four-wheel drive we supply transfer cases. So that means we have the input on one side and we make a four-wheel drive solution with a prop shaft connection to the front and to the rear. So we have a full range of transfer cases available in our product range. 12-speed transmission with an automatic control on top and we do have an hydraulic retarder at the back of the transmission. This is used for example, crane application or heavy duty application, and so it's a 12-speed mechanical gearbox, which is basically with an automatic electronic control on top. In order to have power for pump drives, we also supply a fully engine-dependent PTO, which is fitted between the transmission and the engine itself. And you see here the transfer case to drive the PTO shaft in order to have full engine torque and engine power on the pump to drive the additional units in the vehicle itself. So this unit is an intermediate part between the engine and the transmission, a fully engine-dependent power takeoff.